Hello everyone, welcome to another video of AcUK Online. Today we'll be looking at paper 2 9609 paper 22. This is a data response paper and I will walk you through on how to attempt this paper. We'll be looking at all the questions and discussing the answers that you can do for these. So let's start the video. A-Level Business 9609 paper 22. This is paper 2 data response from May Jun 2019. So first we'll look at the data and we will be underlining all the important parts that we come across so that they can help us answer the questions later on. So starting off with the data, they have given us that JS is a public sector organization in country X. The mission statement of JS in figure 1.1. So figure 1.1 JS mission statement, what is this stating? It states that to match up business that need workers with workers who need jobs. So basically they're providing workers to different corporate clients who are looking for workers. Moving on, they're saying that JS is one of the largest business in the country, so it is large in size. Definitely it must be because it is a public sector organization. It benefits from many economies of scale but also suffers from some diseconomies. So it does benefit from economies of scale, but because it is a large business, so it is also suffering from diseconomies of scale. There is an outlet of JS in every main town and city in country X. Each outlet must cooperate with the others to provide the best service to those looking for new employment and business looking for new employees. So this states that they have a vast presence in the country. They are in every town, in every city, and they are cooperating with people to provide them with the best services and providing employment to the unemployed people to help them find a job basically. Moving on, the employees of JS are all highly trained and skilled. They work in 3 different departments. So this identifies that we are talking about high skilled workforce over here, as JS employs highly trained and skilled workforce. Table 1, employee data for JS. It is always important that you read the heading for whatever table, graph or data that is given to you. So this table shows employee data for JS. They have given you 3 departments, A, B and C, and the main functions of these departments. Total number of employees and number of employees who left in 2018. So when we look at this table, we see that department A, which is dealing with people who are looking for jobs, has total number of employees of 25,000, and the employees who left the organization in 2018, that is 60 to 50. In the department B, they are dealing with businesses looking for workers. So this is the one where they are looking at the corporate client. This is where they are looking at the unemployed people. And the total number of employees in department 2 is 5,000, and the number of employees who left in 2018 is 550. In the department C, the paperwork and general administrative duties, so this is their administrative department, which has a total number of employees 10,000, and out of those 10,000, 600 employees left in 2018. Moving on, the management team at JS are concerned about the poor motivation in department A, which has led to high labor turnover. So the company is experiencing high labor turnover. They interviewed those leaving department A to ask for their reasons for leaving. An exit survey. So exit survey is a survey that we give to the employees who are leaving the organization to try to see what are the main reasons for them to leave the organization. The results are shown in figure 1.2. So when we see the figure 1.2, we can see that they have given us the results of department A employee exit survey, and they have given you a pie chart. Now if we look at this pie chart quickly, we can see that most part of this pie chart is being covered by the poor pay, which is the 30%. So one of the main reasons for many Department A employees leaving the organization was poor pay. After that we have 25%, which is the poor leadership. So we can say that this is the most important reason, this can be the second important reason, and then we see that 20% can be the third important reason. Why? Because 30% is the highest, then we come to 25%, then 20%, and some other reasons are that they do not like the customers, they have moved to another town, no possibility of promotion. So this is it. Now let's look at the questions. The very first question states, define the term public sector. So this is for 2 marks. A very simple and precise definition for public sector will do, and we know that a public sector organization is an organization that is owned and controlled by the government, and it can be a large organization, it employs a lot of people. So simple definition of public sector organization. The second part is asking, explain the relationship between mission statement and a business objective. Okay, so do note over here that they're asking to explain the relationship between mission statement and a business objective for 3 marks. Now in order to explain the relationship, you can also define these mission statement and a business objective, but it is important that you do mention a relationship between these two in order to gain maximum marks. So we do know that a mission statement is a visionary aim for a business and the purpose that it is being run for, whereas an objective is a specific target that should have a time period in which to achieve. And the relationship between these two is that your objectives are basically set according to your mission statement. They are set in order to reach that aim, right? So the relationship will be that the mission is the aim, but the objectives are those specific targets that are there to achieve that aim. Moving on, we come to part B1, which is saying that refer to table 1.1, calculate the rate of labor turnover for the whole of JS in 2018. So we have to calculate the rate of labor turnover for the whole of JS in 2018. Now remember, they are asking for the whole of the business, and we have to calculate the rate of labor turnover. Now when we look at the data, we see that they divided JS into 3 parts, department A, B and C. Now the question is specifically asking us to calculate the labor turnover for the whole organization, right? Now the simple formula for labor turnover calculation is that you take the number of employees who have left the organization, that means these people, and then we divide it by the total number of employees. So total number of employees, but because they are asking for the whole of the organization, we need to add up all these departments because jointly they make whole of the organization. So to calculate the number of employees who left in 2018, we first see that it was 6250 from department A, 550 from department B and 600 from department C. So what we can do is we can simply add all these 3 up. So 6250 plus 550 plus 600, and this will give us a value of 7400, right? So 7400 is the number of employees who have left the organization in 2018. And likewise, in order to calculate the total number of employees, we add up all the numbers from each department. So 25,000 plus 5,000 plus 10,000, this will give us a value of 40,000. Now the question was asking us to calculate the labor turnover. So number of employees, we have 7400, and 7400 divided by 40,000 into 100% will give us the value So simply we write 7400 and then divided by 40,000, and whatever answer that we are getting, we will multiply it by 100%. This will give us a value of 18.5%. So the labor turnover rate for 2018 for whole of the JS organization is 18.5%. So this 18.5% basically means that out of the total employees in JS organization, 18.5% of those have left the organization in the year 2018. Now coming back to our question B part 2, explain one disadvantage for JS of having high labor turnover. So they're only asking you to explain one disadvantage. Now a disadvantage for a high labor turnover there can be many disadvantages. Firstly, we know that whenever a business is experiencing high labor turnover, it will increase recruitment cost for that business. So that will mean that there will be more training costs, might be more hiring costs for that business. And because we are looking at skilled employees over here, as it was mentioned in the data, that they have a highly trained skilled workforce, so these recruitment costs may even be higher, and it will be difficult for them to replace these highly trained workers, because firstly they have to hire those workers again, secondly they might have to spend on their training and development. So we need to explain one disadvantage. This can be another disadvantage that we can explain for high labor turnover can be that it might give them they might have to face a loss of productivity. So when the employees are leaving, they will be not part of that productive workforce. The work will get affected, and there will be a time lag between hiring a new worker, training the new worker, so that loss of workforce will affect their productivity. So a simple explanation of one disadvantage of having high labor turnover can easily get you 3 marks. Now coming to question C, it is saying that analyze one economy of scale and one diseconomy of scale that may affect JS. Now when we were reading the data, we did see that JS is experiencing economies of scale and diseconomies of scale. The question is asking us to analyze only one economy of scale and one diseconomy of scale. So as we know that this company can experience many different economies of scale, we have managerial economies of scale, we have purchasing economies of scale, technical, financial economies of scale. We'll just choose one and analyze it according to whatever is given to us in the context. So this the managerial economy can be that they have highly trained managers that might be in a good position to deal with their high labor turnover rate. They may not have any such financial problems as they are backed by the government, as it is a public sector organization. Their cost of operating on a per person basis might be lower because they are experiencing these economies of scale. However, there can be communication issues, so this can be a major diseconomy of scale, and there can be poor leadership because workers might feel alienated. We did see from the pie chart that the workers are leaving the job because of less pay and poor leadership. There can also be poor motivation because, like they mentioned, that JS has branches in every town, and the workers might not feel motivated because they might not feel part of the whole organization. They might feel alienated, and boredom was also another reason why these workers were leaving the organization. So choosing from these, we can easily answer this question. Coming to question D, it is stating that recommend how JS could improve the motivation of its employees in the department A and justify your recommendations. So we have to recommend how JS could improve the motivation of its employees in department A. Now remember, they provided us with the employee exit survey from department A, and using this we can easily come up with the motivation that is required in order to retain the staff. So poor pay was one of the major reasons, poor leadership was also 25%, and boring job was also another reason for employees leaving the organization. So if we look at the points that we can put in this answer, these can be, so firstly, we can say that the company can increase pay or financial motivation, because 30% of leaving employees are leaving because of poor pay. However, we must also see whether the government is in a position to afford such a pay increase, because remember, this was a public sector organization and this was funded by government funds. Another reason, another way to motivate employees can be the non-financial motivation. And remember that 20% of the workers were leaving because of a boring job. So we can probably introduce things like job enrichment, job enlargement, job rotation. So things that will improve the motivation of employees. We can also probably give them more delegation, because they were widespread. They were in every town and location. So delegation can also improve the production process or productivity. Another point that we can use is to increase the levels of hierarchy to improve promotion chances, and this will also encourage employees to stay in the organization and to because they will feel that they are being promoted, as this will definitely motivate them. We can also talk about improved leadership. So probably their current leadership style is not motivating for the workers and they are not feeling a part of the organization. So definitely that is an area that needs to be looked upon. In order to improve motivation, they should also improve their leadership style. They can also allow movement between outlets, so that means that the workers can move between different outlets. That will help them to learn new skills. That might cut down on their boredom, as they will be experiencing new customers and new environment. And we can also improve the training of staff, because employees are highly skilled and trained, and maybe they could be offered more to keep them in the business, because losing experienced staff is always bad for an organization. So it is important that they keep them motivated to stay in the business and they are continue to provide service to the organization. So these were the points that can be used to answer part D. This is for 11 marks. Remember, you need to give a very balanced argument, because when we are saying that recommendation, we should also post the other side of the picture. So when we are saying that they need to increase the pay, we should also mention that whether the company is in a position to increase the pay. Or when we are talking about the leadership style, so we need to see what is the current leadership style and what might be needed in order to improve that, and even if we do improve it, what might be the disadvantages that can be faced as a result of the new leadership style. So giving a balanced argument is very important, and this will definitely help you answer your questions in a better way. Okay guys, so this was it for today. I hope you understood these concepts and this video was helpful for you. Please do leave your comments in the boxes below, and also do post your requests so that I can make my future videos to help you further. Thanks for watching.